Hello everyone. Um, Today's murder case Monday, like I mentioned last week in my John Benet Ramsey case, I'll put the playlist above. Um, is going to be Caylee Anthony. Now, like I start all these videos, I'll start off by explaining I have a degree in forensic science and criminology, and part of that degree, as well as scene examination, anatomy, and all that, was anthropology. That's going to come into play in this. Um, because I can explain a few things that a lot of other people can't. Um, and bear in mind that this is the case of a child that unfortunately is no longer with us. Towards the end, obviously, I'm drawing my own conclusion due to my own background and my own education. That is just purely my interpretation of what happened. Um, that being said, let's get on with the video. Right, Caylee Anthony disappeared when she was only 2 years old. She had been she had been missing for a month before it was reported. It was reported by her mother, Candy. Caylee's mother, Casey, said that she was with the babysitter, but she hadn't seen her for a month, which to me is idiotic. If you haven't seen your child for a month, you obviously say something about it. Or is that just me? I don't know. And she held back evidence and knowledge of what happened and where she could have possibly have been. After a short while, the skeletal remains of Caylee were found, not far from the house. I think it was about a mile, and they were identified by the renowned pathologist, Dr. Jan Garavaglia, ruled homicide, although officially the death was ruled as undetermined means, which basically means they think it's a homicide, but they can't prove the cause of death, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, the reason why it was ruled a homicide is because there was duct tape all over this part of the remains, around the mandible and the lower cranium. Casey was caught in numerous lies during and after the case. She lied about all sorts, and it was known within the family that she was she would lie, and she would lie without batting an eyelid. Now, while the woman that she said had Caylee did exist, the woman said that she had little contact with the child, and when she had had contact with the child, Casey was there. So she had never had custody of the child in any way. She lied about the identity of the father. I don't even think we know who the father is now. During the trial, she tried to say that her father repeatedly raped her, which was obviously disproven. And she also said that her father killed Caylee, which is also disproven. And her not guilty verdict was very much a shock. However, I can understand why. Now I'm going to get into that now. First of all, when you find the remains of an infant, a lot of the characteristics that are in an adult aren't there. And you can usually tell by the size. Now, there is one advantage, particularly with infants, is because they're always between being about 6 months old to about, well, I'll use a normal child, not me, about 8 to 10. You're losing your teeth. You're getting teeth, then you lose them, then you get something. You know what I mean? You go from getting your baby teeth to losing them and then getting your adult teeth. So, lots of times when you take pictures as a kid, you've got a tooth missing or something like that. That is one way of identifying the child, because you can take a picture and overlay them. When I go through the West case, I'll go more into depth, and there is actually a part of a documentary about that particular case and the use of the superimposition. Now, also with a child, a lot of the sexual characteristics of the skeleton aren't there. However, they were able to say that it was definitively Caylee because there were things like there was some tissue left, and there was hair on the duct tape that had follicles, so they did the DNA test and it was proven to be Caylee. Now, when it comes to having duct tape around this part of your face, that's not a good sign. Now, if you're... it's just not a good thing. Just the sheer thought of it gives me the creeps. Because she was already mostly decomposed when they found her, there was no physical way of identifying what had happened. With skeletal remains, unless the cause of death directly impacts the bones that are found, you're never going to know the cause of death. Meaning that basically if somebody stabs you, it will nick the bones, where if it touches a bone it will nick it, so you can get an idea. Whereas if she drowned, or if she was whatever, it wouldn't show. The only way it would show is if it was any degree of violence. There was Dr. Garavaglia examined the entire of the cranium, but the way she did it was that the bottom of everybody's cranium, roughly around about here, there was a small hole. I think in infants it's about this big. It's a bit bigger in adults, obviously, because we're bigger. Which is where your spinal cord comes out from, that's attached to your brain. That's where it comes out. And there's also your first vertebrae, which is otherwise known as the atlas vertebrae, that's sort of attached to your skull. And it's kind of like the connector for the spine. Now, what Dr. Garavaglia did is the cameras that you can get anywhere with the flexible heads that they have in hospitals, they used for like exploratory things. What they did is they put one of them inside the hole and checked the inside of the hole, and she ascertained that there was no subdural hematomas or anything like that, because there was no staining or marking of the skull. Now, another doctor who was allowed to look at the remains didn't do the same examination and ended up breaking the skull into multiple pieces, because the thing with a child's skull is it's not as substantial as an adult skull. It's a lot. An adult skull is a lot thicker, a lot more mature, and a whole round lot safer. So with this case, because there was a lot of things that couldn't be proven, because there was the absence of skin tissue, etc., it did cause some issues. Now, that is the only reason why I can think of that they had the not guilty verdict. Although everybody ascertains that she lied, and that she still continues to lie to this day, they can't, because nobody can prove definitively what happened, they can't say that she is the guilty party. Now, recently she did an interview with the Associated Press hinting that her father killed the infant, and that there is a lot more to the situation. And with regards to that, I see it, smell a book. I think she's going to write a book saying that her father did everything. No, her parents have released a statement saying that they are shocked and surprised by what she said, and are understandably hurt. And it's shocking that she would even try that, considering the hell that she put them through during the trial. Now, after the trial, she still continued to lie over and over again. She still continued to make fallacies and fabrications, and she's constantly making it out like that she's the victim in all of this. I don't believe things she says. She seems to claim some weird shit. She claims that her and OJ have a connection because they were both wrongfully convicted in court of public opinion. She knows that OJ's not guilty, and that case is definitely one I'm going to do. We'll never know what happened. Not even with a lie detector, and she's the type of person who would probably believe her own lies to the point where she would fit past the lie detector. I don't believe a word she says. I never have, and I never will. That girl makes Onision look like a novice. She is a pathological liar in every sense of the word. In the end, I do think she did. Her and somebody else did kill the infant. Don't think the parents had anything to do with it. It is painful and harmful that this child will never have a life, and that the person who was supposed to protect her failed miserably at her job. Now, what can we learn from this? Simple. If you've not heard from your grandchild for a while, and you usually hear from them regularly, say something. Unless it's normal to not hear from them, then that's fine. But in some cases, it's not normal. And if you don't hear from them, say something, because you don't know what's going on. And also, if you know something's going on with a friend of yours that's slightly unhinged for whatever reason, then speak up and do something about it, because you can save a child's life. So, with that being said, that's it for Murder Case Mondays. This will, like I said, I'm not sure what to do next week. I might do a serial killer next week. I haven't decided. I might even might even do the Cole Brown and Simpson case. I don't know, because there's a few points I want to make on that one as well. But at the end of the day, don't always believe what's in the press. When I go through the Michael Jackson case, which will be a different video, and it won't apply to Murder Case Mondays, obviously, because I'll be talking about the molestation allegations, not his death. That's done and dealt with. But there are issues on things, on almost every case. If there is any case you want me to do, please let me know down below, and I will happily look into it. There's a couple that I'm interested in doing that are sort of conspiracy themed videos. So like I say, it's one of those things that I need to do a lot of research. I've gone through the two cases I know a lot about, so there are other cases I do know a lot about, which I'll go into another time. So I will check in with you soon. See you soon. Stay safe, and goodbye.